Endovers are another one of my favorite tricks, and naturally end 99.9% of my lines that start with monster walks. If I'm doing monster walks, I'm probably ending them with an endover. It's just a habit at this point, but nonetheless, it's a thing, so I wanted to share a few tips for them and how I got them up to this point. For this video, I'll be going over the backside version, as I do them mostly backside from my normal stance. But you can do them in any direction. I set up for an endover just like I do a monster walk. Since it's a rotating trick, I want my toes and heels to be in the pockets of the skateboard. And just like my monster walks, I developed my endovers because they became part of my warm-up routine. Monster walk, monster walk, monster walk, monster walk, endover. It's a pattern that I deeply ingrained in my muscle memory after a year and a half of practice. So tip number 1 is to find a little spot in your warm-up for these. It's not a trick that I wanted to dedicate half of my session to, but I found a few every day during my warm-up was just what I needed. And then I'd sprinkle them throughout the session just while having fun. So turning this practice into a small habit was key for getting them smoother and smoother. The second tip is to take it slow. I spent lots of time doing one rotation and then another, as completely separate movements. And then as I got better and stronger, I was able to do them faster and smoother. The third tip is to really recognize the relationship between your hips and shoulders. Wind up the shoulders front side, and then release them around backside so that your hips will want to follow, and use the energy stored up while winding up to really spin your hips around. I use the shoulders to direct the movement, but my core muscles and hips are what provide all the power for this trick. The fourth tip is to use the pockets. Now, this is slightly different than how I typically use the pockets for tricks like reverts and monster walks, and that's because I use my heel for the first part of the endover. You can see here that I use the heel of my front foot during the first part of the rotation, and then use the ball of my back foot for the second part of the rotation. Using the pockets to pinch the trucks like this makes the rotation much easier than just trying it flat-footed. Of course, you might end up with rather choppy endovers while doing this, but I really found it was a much better first step for me, and as you get better and better, you can try to keep your trucks more on the ground and adjust how you do them. But I found this to be a great introduction and a great way to work on them. And if you want to do the endover front side, you can start by using the ball of your front foot and then end by using the heel of your back foot. You basically want to be pinching the trucks in the direction that you're going to rotate. Tip 5 is to bend your knees and sink into the end. Spinning tricks are scary because slipping out on straight knees is painful. You can slam pretty hard doing a rotating trick, especially like this, so I try to remember to keep a slight bend in my knees, and you can see here that I really sink into the end of this trick. I do this small quarter squat that absorbs a lot of the energy, and it helps me reset myself safely while regaining my balance. Of course, the secret to all tricks is practice, but hopefully these tips will help you get from A to B a little bit faster and a little bit easier. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope you got something out of it, and I hope to see you next time.